Hello everyone, my name is Omar Iglesias and I will be making a presentation about password cracking and using the tool Hydra in Kali Linux to crack email account passwords. The purpose of this video is for my individual project in ethical hacking and countermeasures taught by Dr. Alexander Pons in Florida International University. So let's begin. Okay. First, I will be uh, making a PowerPoint presentation, and then the second part of this video will consist of displaying a demonstration of how to use the Hydra tool in Kali Linux. Okay, so let me begin. Okay, first of all, what is password cracking? Okay, password cracking is the process of recovering passwords from data that has been stored in or transmitted by a computer system. Uh, Basically, the term cracking refers to guessing, stealing, or password cracking in order to access a restricted account or breaking through a restricted system. Okay, so that is the concept of uh, the meaning of cracking in ethical hacking. So, okay, some of the purposes of cracking passwords. The first purpose is to help a user recover a forgotten password of an existing account in case that the user prefers not to change the original password. Uh, well, basically this first purpose can be used especially if you, for example, let's say that you forgot the um, the password to log in into your computer, into your desktop, for example, and then you want to find out what the password is. Then you can use a tool, for example, John the Ripper, in order to get the hashes from that computer, and then you can find out the login password or passwords that you need to log in into that account. Um, it could be either the administrator password or different guests in that computer. Another purpose for cracking passwords could be to prevent, so systems administrators can prevent the system to be cracked easily, so that some administrators might test for different passwords to see which one is easier to break in. So that could be another purpose. The third purpose that I listed here was to test the levels of security of different applications. You don't want an application to be easily cracked. So you want to basically build applications that are efficient with regard to password cracking. You don't want people to be complaining about other people hacking into their accounts. So that's very important. Um, Another purpose that I listed here was to gain unauthorized access to a restricted system. That's basically the main, I mean, not the main, but usually what people want when you refer to the term cracking, breaking into a system. Okay. So, okay. Now, when selecting your password, you have to be careful. Uh, People might not pay attention um, to this part a lot. So, two important aspects to consider when selecting your password. Um, Basically includes the password length and its complexity. So the length of the password affects mainly the amount of time and resources needed to compromise a password. So basically, the longer the password is, the better. That's one of the most important um, aspects, when selecting your passwords. The second most important aspect is um, the complexity. In this case, you have to, besides including a lengthy password, you also have to combine, like for example, different letters, numerical values, special characters, you know, to maybe make the life make the life harder of a hacker not to break into your account. So you also want to like combine different letters, and you you want to have capital letters, uh, numbers, commas, points. For example, I listed here the password admin is of course much easier to crack compared to admin. See with the caps here, you see the caps in admin, and then you don't have any caps here. You just have the word admin. So you have admin point 123 comma point hashtag, the number symbol, and then the percent. This password is obviously harder to crack than this one. You have a combination of capital letters, different letters here, and then you have a point, numbers, special characters like the money sign, for example, and things like that. So you also you have to, pay attention to that. Uh, you don't want to have a simple password, you know. So that's very important. Um, okay, the next thing, different methods to attack passwords. Um, okay, this is whether or not encryption in passwords is used. So passwords, no matter what they're encrypted or not, they're open, or vulnerable to different types of attacks. So some of these attacks, they include, some of the popular attacks. They include brute force attacks, dictionary attacks, using rainbow tables. Also, social engineering is also a popular method to you know get passwords. Um, okay, okay. What is brute force? What does that mean? Okay, this type of attack is basically combining all possible combination of letters, numbers, and special characters, to determine the password. One thing that is very important to consider when doing brute force attacks is that it's very time consuming, and it requires patience. Uh, it's not that efficient with time, so you have to have that in mind. So it's pretty slow, compared to dictionary attacks. Dictionary attacks are much faster. I'm going to discuss them in the next slide. Uh, and also, a very important feature that brute force attacks have is that you need to have an encrypted document or password hash file. They're most efficient if you have that. The hashes. Um, so in order to get the hashes, they can be extracted from the target system and tested, in a different location, in an offline location, like I mentioned before. Uh, Using John the Ripper, for example, to crack the passwords of using the hash file. You know, that's basically the meaning of brute force. So John the Ripper is very helpful um, if you want to conduct brute force attacks. So have that in mind. Okay, dictionary attacks. Okay, dictionary attacks include guessing passwords by using a list of common words. Um, for example, let's say that you have a document that has a list of passwords, and then you use a tool like Hydra, for example, which I'm going to use in this presentation to show you how to crack passwords of email accounts. You can have different files and then containing passwords, and then attacking that account using those passwords that you have saved in that file. So, okay, one bad thing that dictionary attacks have is that they usually don't work against complex passwords. Only against simple ones. So that's very important. Also, crackers need to have the file that contains the passwords of the target, which I mentioned before. Um, and you can also determine the key necessary to decrypt an encrypted document using dictionary attacks. Okay. So okay, rainbow tables. Rainbow tables are basically pre-computed tables for reversing cryptographic hash functions. Usually for cracking password hashes. You can get some of these rainbow tables online for free, but you can also get some of these tables by purchase. You have to buy them, and I mean it's up to you. But I'd rather go for the free ones first and then test them out. If they don't work, you know, you can try different tables if you can buy them. Um, okay, one trade-off that rainbow tables have is that is the space and time. Rainbow tables, they use basically less computer processing time and more storage than brute force attacks. Um, uh, Basically, this which calculates a hash on every attack, but every processing time has less storage than a simple lookup table. With one entry per hash. So that's very important to consider that trade-off. Okay, the fourth method to attack passwords is by social engineering. It's a very classic method. I mean, in hacking. So in social engineering, the cracker can pretend to be a legitimate user of the target system and extract information by simply asking the user or the users. Usually people behave in a naive way when a computer expert uh, has like questions for them. They get nervous, and then they give out sort of sensitive information, and passwords, and that's very important to consider. So yeah, so users will give out personal information, highly sensitive information to the cracker, pretending to be a technician, who needs to run tests or check for security or perhaps restore a system. That's usually the strategy that the cracker uses, to obtain uh, passwords for different accounts. Um, okay, so like I said before, we're gonna be using I'm gonna be using the Hydra tool in Kali Linux to demonstrate uh, uh, how to crack an email account password. So basically, what is Hydra? Hydra is an online password cracking tool that can be used to conduct dictionary attacks and on different devices, by trying different lists of usernames and passwords, until a login is found. So that's the main way that Hydra conducts its attacks on the passwords. Um, so online attacks, they're basically more suited to small and concentrated dictionary attacks rather than exhaustive brute force. For example, this Hydra takes less time to check if the password can be cracked by using dictionary attacks compared to John the Ripper. John the Ripper will take more time since he's using brute force. So you have to consider both sides. I mean, when you crack the passwords, usually when you want to crack a password, you try to use a dictionary attack first, and then you go for the brute force if you want. Yeah. So yeah. Like I mentioned before, this tool can be, it's very fast. It tries different usernames and passwords. They combine the passwords and the usernames. You can have like 1,000 usernames and passwords. It will try to crack those passwords in a matter of seconds or maybe minutes. So it's very fast. It can be used to attack different devices, including IMAP, SMB, HTTP, BNZ, MSQL, SMTP, which we're going to use in the email attacks, and many more. So yeah. Okay, here I have some of the most used and supported main email protocols used worldwide. So you have SMTP, which stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. That's basically what we're going to use in to attack the emails and get the passwords. You have IMAP, which stands for Internet Message Access Protocol, and then you have POP, which stands for Post Office Protocol. Okay, so to crack a Gmail account, a Google account in using Hydra, you have here the target server, which is smtp.gmail.com, and the port usually is 465. Anyway, you can use Nmap to see which ports are open, but usually is 465. The protocol that we're going to use is SMTP, and the target username, is set up basically a testing account to break into, to show you guys how to that the tool is really effective. So I set up this account. It's called Testing Megatron and Decepticons at gmail.com. I'm a huge fan of Transformers, so that's why I have that name, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna test Megatron to see if he can be cracked. Okay. Okay, to crack a Yahoo Mail account password using Hydra, the server is smtp.mail.yahoo.com, and the port is usually 587. I mean, we can always try Nmap to find out, and the protocol is SMTP. Okay, to crack Hotmail passwords account using Hydra, you have the target server, which is smtp.live.com, port 587, protocol SMTP. Okay, okay. To conclude this, the first portion of this video, to protect yourself better against password cracking, always avoid using the same password for everything. That's a huge mistake. Avoid using your own name in the password. Don't do that. Avoid using common words or names for passwords. Always include random letters, numbers, and characters, like I mentioned before. And avoid writing down difficult passwords. This, where they can be easily found. You can, have difficult passwords, but don't leave them, in a place where people can have access to it. You don't want that. You want to keep that, in a private place. Never give out, a password information over the phone or under any other circumstance. Never do that. And then effective password security always depends on choosing strong passwords. Okay, so this concludes the first part of this video, and the next part I will be showing you how to use Hydra. Okay, thank you. Okay, hello everyone, it's me, Omar. I'm back. Okay, so you saw in the PowerPoint, basically you have an idea of what the meaning of cracking means, and the different attacks that exist. Some of them, some examples. Now in this part of the video, I'm gonna be showing you how to use the Hydra tool to crack email passwords. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is go to the terminal and use Nmap to see which ports are open in the server that we're going to attack. So the server is SMTP, as I mentioned in the PowerPoint, gmail.com. Okay, So let's see the ports that are open in the server. Okay, there we go. So we have 587, 993 and 995 are open. So usually we have 465, port number 465, but we don't have it here now. So let me try it again. Okay, nmap, smtp, gmail. Okay, let's see. Let's see for the open ports. Okay, there we go. Now we see it. So we have port 465, like I mentioned in the PowerPoint, and the service that is running on that port is SMTPS. That is basically the port that we're going to use in order to attack the account, the Gmail account. Also you have 587, which I also listed. That's if you want to, for example, attack especially Yahoo, accounts, email accounts, or Hotmail, and then you have port 993 and 995. So these two I had listed in the PowerPoint, 465 and 587. So okay, let's open, let's call it Hydra. Okay, so X Hydra. Okay, there we have the tool Hydra. As you can see, it's a GUI version. It's actually the GUI version of Medusa. In that case, Medusa is also a tool that is used to crack passwords, online passwords. It's an online type of attack, but it uses commands. This Hydra, however, X Hydra uses a GUI interface version. So okay, so let's begin. Okay, the target is going to be the server. So as I mentioned before, it's going to be SMTP gmail.com, and then the port is going to be 465. Usually it's 465, but I'm going to leave it in blank. Okay, when I start running the application for the attack, it's gonna find the port anyway, so we don't really need to put the port. Okay, you can put it if you want, but it's better to leave it blank, because sometimes the port is different. But usually it's 465 for Gmail, but since the email that we're going to attack is a Google email account, so yeah, just leave it in 0 by default. So when I click here, use SSL, be variables, show the attempts. Okay, the SSL basically means it's an encryption link between the server and the client. So we use SSL because that's what Google, not only Google, but most of the email servers use. So that encrypted link between the server and the client. So we're gonna intercept that link. Okay, passwords. Okay, the username that we're gonna use is the account that I set up before. It's gonna be testing Megatron and Decepticons at gmail.com. So let me make sure it's right. Testing Megatron and Decepticons@gmail.com. Okay, password. Okay, you want to include a list. Okay, I don't have the list here. Let me put the USB in where I have my password lists. So I put the USB where I have the lists, saved. Okay, open with files. I mean, you can create your own lists. How many lists you want? I mean, the amount that you choose. To create a list, you basically go here to leave pad, and you type different passwords, whatever you want, and then when you're done typing a list of passwords, you save it wherever you want, and you name it, I don't know, password list or list number 1, list number 2, whatever you want to name it. Okay, so I already have my lists, here in the USB that I just plugged in. So I'm gonna find the list for this to attack the password. Wait, let me close it. List for passwords. Okay, open, and then try login as password. Alright, we're gonna select that option. You can leave these two blank. You could click on them if you want, but it will, if you want to test, for example, like the password, it could be empty or it could be reversed. But anyway, you should always select the first option to try to log in as password. Okay. So tuning, that's gonna be by default the same, no proxy, specific. Okay, so now we're gonna hit start to conduct the attack. Okay, so there you see how quickly we got the password for the account. Move this in. Okay, so there we have it. The different types of passwords that I tried based on the list that I have. You should always attack the account with a small word list first, and then if that doesn't work, you create you implement a longer list, but you should always go with a short one first, just to make sure that that it works. So here we go. The port is 465, so as nmap indicated, so that's correct. The host was smtp.gmail.com, and the login was the testing Megatron and Decepticons@gmail.com. Here you go. That's the username and that's the password. The password is for this account is Broncos18. So that's a bad idea, especially if you're Peyton Manning. I mean, if you're Peyton Manning, you don't want to set up an account, an email account, or any other account with a password that has Broncos18. That's a bad idea. So yeah, Peyton Manning, don't do that. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to demonstrate if Hydra, or we're going to prove in that sense if Hydra was correct. Okay, so I'm going to go to Iceweasel, and go to Google, Gmail. Okay, you can just type it, but I'm just gonna copy the username and paste it here. Copy, paste, and the password is sign in, and there we go. So Hydra was correct, the password was correct. So yeah, we defeated Megatron. We cracked Megatron and Decepticons. So there we go. We got the password and we logged into the account to make sure that Hydra was right. So okay, this concludes this part of the video, and I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the last part to conclude this presentation. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you like the video, the PowerPoint, and the demonstration demo that I gave you using Hydra to crack email passwords. The only thing for me left to say is that always remember to protect yourself better. Try to have a different password for different accounts, and try to have complex passwords, not simple ones that anyone can remember. As you saw in the demo, if you have a simple password, it's easier for hackers to crack it. Always remember to be an ethical hacker. I remind you that this video is only for educational purposes. It's not intended for any malicious purpose. It's only for instructive purposes. So yeah, have that in mind. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and I appreciate your time. Okay, thank you.